Boruto's that kid that somehow only got the worst aspects of his parents. Like, you want to like him because his parents are still great people, but he's just such a little As a child watching Naruto and seeing the progression, we couldn't help but think, man, when he's grown up, the show will be amazing. While picturing every episode glued to the screen, yada yada, while adult Naruto throws hands with whole armies, Minato style, damn near soloing Hokage level threats. Well, I, at least, was wrong.
It's just going to be one of those things where I walk through and it's going to make me think they're going to do something, but they're not going to do something. I was wrong. I was so wrong.
No matter how you spin it, Boruto isn't that. At least in the first 80 chapters. Naruto got his ass handed to him most of it, actually. Not a bad thing, I guess.
Oh, something amazing, I guess.
Me too, kid.
I was a child in my Shonen Jump brain of, heh, fight. Heh, nice. More fight.
What?
Was in full effect, but before that, Naruto grew with us. Luffy grew with us. Goku for sure grew with us, and shit, pretty much his whole family did as well. Speaking of Dragon Ball, the problem with Boruto's writers is that they ran into the same problem that Toriyama did and just pretty much warned people of. That when attempting to make Gohan the main character over Goku, it was just turning back into an albeit slightly different Goku, but still Goku type of main character.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture.
That Toriyama had written for pretty much everything else. Because the story felt better that way to not only him, but eventually a lot of readers as well. Sure, Boruto is a bit different with lower chakra, even though he uses the same jutsu and speaks pretty similarly, but it's even worse for Boruto because we saw most of his growth off screen compared to a Goku or Naruto, who we've seen train techniques from very young ages, even more so for Goku, while Boruto had a somewhat rushed growth, which you could say an excuse is he's a genius. But he had it almost all at once, and when we do see it, it doesn't feel as earned. So that's why in this video, I wanted to talk about why that affects the time skip and how the Boruto time skip feels super late and surprisingly ineffective at really building hype, especially off of part 1, to anywhere near Naruto's prime, or people being as invested like back at Naruto's time skip with the Akatsuki, and why. And also, why my expectations for Boruto's time skip are mixed in the show in general. So, to get into it, for starters, Boruto's drip is whack, bruh. I know not important, but damn, Sasuke hadn't even fully died yet, and homie was robbing his fit just to have one of the worst cape-looking cloaks in anime history. I don't know what it is, it's just, it worked for Sasuke, it doesn't for Boruto. At least Kawaki dug through the closet and got out the old South Pole brand jeans out. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but for real, this is coming from someone who liked what they did for Mitsuki in the anime, and some of the later Boruto arcs, it's just been hard to ignore the problems. So for actual starters, the Boruto time skip wait time wise is essentially the skull and bones of the anime community. For anyone who missed the news on that over the years, Skull and Bones is a Ubisoft game made off the back of the success of the naval combat in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's pretty much just Assassin's Creed Black Flag 2.0. It having been announced back in 2017, they just had an open beta last August of 2023. Nobody played it. Boruto's manga was released in May 2016 and has now entered the time skip over 7 years later. Keep in mind, we knew about the time skip from page 1. So will people care as much as they did then seeing about it? Other than the character development speedrun I mentioned earlier, I think the same thing is happening to a smaller extent with time skip waiting fatigue turned to not caring for Boruto. This is not even counting the fact that most of these people had to wait already almost 10 years for this promised time skip. So is it really worth it? Even though they might just be waiting for it to be released is a fair point. Boruto is obviously too big for it to go completely under the radar, but the amount of teases we got to the time skip over the years, and honestly just the series using it as something to keep us around, like has been honestly boring anime filler and side arcs included, dragged to a Michael Bay slow-mo scene halt sometimes. It just makes it that much harder to have a time skip that satisfies. Truthfully, the amount of announcements about it but no release date may have made me stop caring a bit about it. I'm not sure. To go back to the Skull and Bones example, it's been 6 years since it was announced, and now a lot of the original fans of it don't care. And some have come to realize that it's not really as great of an idea as it sounded like back then. And is it the same amount of people who do care about Naruto, Boruto, or less? That's really what matters to Shonen, and I think we'll find out sooner than you think, especially once more chapters of the time skip are out for people to decide, and we get to see the new sales. Crazy to think someone looking forward to the time skip from release would be almost a decade older since then, and still looking forward to it just as much as they were the first day. Shout out to the soldiers out there if that really is the case. I don't know what it is sometimes. I wait that long for something and it has to be even better than expected or first advertised, you know? It reaches an almost unattainable hope for it, but after so long, is it wrong to think it'll be better than expected? Let me know in the comments. I was going to put it in this video, but if you want another video on Gohan and Boruto character comparison, and who would be the better protagonists and how well they each worked as a protagonist, make sure to leave a like for me. Anyway, to wrap it up, I just find it odd they were so quick to throw Naruto to the sideline, going off of that whole protagonist bit, while Toriyama replaced Goku with Gohan years ago through the Cell arc and stuff like Bojack and a bit in the Majin Buu arc, to realize almost immediately in the long run Goku was the better protagonist with his drive to fight and personality. So Boruto being similar to Gohan in the way where his ambitions aren't as large and he sort of just wants to win and have it be done with. It feels like that he wants to do good, but not a goal that makes him stand out or heavily relied on, like Naruto's becoming the Hokage or Goku's become the strongest mindset. He simply doesn't want to be Hokage because no family time, essentially, which is fair, but then wants to do everything Sasuke does because he's cool, even though Sasuke probably sees his family less than Naruto does in the whole grand scheme of things, but has more choice about it. Can't make this shit up. And that's most of Boruto's character development. Other than finding some respect for Naruto some point afterwards, at least Gohan has Chi-Chi to explain why he grew to like books and learning over the years during his time, while Goku was either dead or training and later pursuing teaching. While Boruto leans so much into I'ma be Sasuke, that if I was Naruto, I'd be asking some serious questions to Sasuke and Hinata, but I have a feeling that after the scraps of the time skip hype dies, when we get used to Boruto being back and learn a bit of his powers post time skip, Boruto as a series could end up back on life support. I know, crazy to say, so really the less they show us early on, the better for their sales, but that only works for so long. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. If you liked the video, dislike it if you did it. If you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss any Naruto, Boruto, or anime news in general. I've been Nimbus. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.